The Objective News Network, the next president will need a real strategy or the ship of state may sink. There's a great deal going on in the world out there, and from all the signals, it's already a very dangerous place that's getting more dangerous every day. China's growing aggression in the South Pacific region and Taiwan. Communist China's growing friendship with Vladimir Putin and the Russian Federation. Or how about North Korea supplying weapons to Russia so that they can fight the war in Ukraine? The terrorist attacks on Israel by Iranian and Syrian supported terrorist proxies like Hamas and Hezbollah. The U.S. border crisis and the growing threat of international terrorism right here in the U.S. homeland. The continuing exponential increase in America's national debt. The new education crisis in America. The military recruitment crisis. The rise of artificial intelligence. A highly divided nation with weak leadership across all three branches of American government. Lawless cities. And the list seems to go on and on and on. But perhaps most dangerous of all is the fact that we appear to be a very large, rudderless ship, taking on more and more water after each passing storm while we simply wait for the next hurricane. So, what exactly is America's strategy to address so many chronic problems that will soon become acute here at home? Things like the rising national debt, Social Security, a much too costly health system, a still crumbling infrastructure from energy to transportation, the environment, agriculture, and so many others. Not to mention that America now finds itself having to be prepared to fight wars on at least three fronts simultaneously: Southeast Asia and China, Eurasia and Russia, and the Middle East and Iran. All of this with the new threat of artificial intelligence thrown in as a new element in asymmetric warfare. We are now watching America's best and brightest run for election against a very elderly president. Many of us have already lost confidence with President Biden's ability to run the country. The leading opposition candidate for president, yes, former President Donald Trump, is being relentlessly attacked by the same system of government that has already been caught trying to destroy his past presidency and is now working to eliminate his current candidacy by any means possible. And then there are the other candidates who know that they cannot even begin to discuss the magnitude of the problems really facing America, let alone put forth any defensible strategy for fixing them. The picture, simply put, would be so dismal that they would never win an election. This, along with a Congress that spends more time fighting with each other than trying to understand and solve the real problems facing the country, along with a judicial branch of government that has become openly politicized from the states all the way up through the federal courts. So, what should or can we do as citizens? It's a lot like my father used to say: first, you've got to have a plan, son. Taking my father's advice to heart, this time around, what I consider who deserves my vote, I'm going to be looking for that very special type of leader who is not afraid to address the deep problems we face and who is able to lay out a clear strategy for America's future with specific plans to address the nation's seemingly insurmountable problems in a logical, coherent way, along with plans to effectively address them. They will have to be able to answer questions like, and these are tough questions, how do we increase our domestic product to lower the national debt? What's the plan? What are we going to do about Social Security? The rising costs of health care? What's the plan? Maintaining our national defense to stave off Chinese, Russian, North Korean, and Iranian and Syrian aggression. Further rebuilding a still crumbling infrastructure. Reverse the decline in education, and the list goes on. In covering this presidential election cycle, ONN will be reporting on whether the various candidates for the presidency of the United States have identified the real problems facing the nation over the next decade and have developed a strategy and the specific plans needed to effectively solve them. And just as importantly, who exactly they will be bringing into their administrations to help them implement their strategy and plans. Whoever our next president is will have to be a true patriot, a leader of great intellect, wisdom, persistence, and yes, empathy for the American people. Over the coming months, we here at ONN look forward to serving you with objective and deep analysis of what each of the various candidates for the President of the United States stands for, whether they have a strategy, and specific plans to address each of the formidable challenges the nation will be facing over the next decade. It is what it is. This is John Hnatio reporting for the Objective News Network. At ONN, we try to look at all sides of the issues to give you an objective and meaningful news analysis of the news events of the day. Please tell your family, friends, colleagues, and followers about us, and please subscribe. We hope to see you the next time.